Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
So hi guys, this is our vlog, and in this vlog we will talk about what?
Root affixes.
Okay, it's not about that. So actually today we will talk about a word and its parts.
Yes.
And in this word and in these parts, it consists. There are many sub-materials.
Yes.
Such as
Root and affixes.
yes, and then morphemes, free morphemes and bound morphemes, and then
Allomorph, content, and function.
okay. So let's go to the first materials.
Root is the pure word which doesn't get any modification from affixes. Example, eat and drink and bread, and it is affixes is a modifier of root, and affixes have three kinds. First, prefix. Prefix is in the beginning of the word. Two, infix. Infix is in the middle of the word. Suffix in the ending of the word. Prefix. The example of prefix is reshuffle. Re is prefix. Shuffle is root. And second, suffix. The example of suffix is forgettable. Forget is root. Able is suffix. I think enough for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye. 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 Bye.
Root is a pure word which doesn't get any modification. For example, eat, drink, and bag. And the second is about affixes. Affixes is a bound morpheme which will modify a word. So, for the example, re in the word of reshuffle. Re is affixes and shuffle is the root. And there are three kinds of affixes. They are prefix, infix, and suffix.
So back with me again. In this part we will talk about morphemes, free morphemes, and bound morphemes. The first is morpheme. Do you know about morpheme or not? If you don't understand, so just don't worry because I will tell it to you. Morpheme is the smallest part of word. It can be thought as the smallest part of morphology. Wait. Oh my god, the wind is so hard. So, we will talk about the kinds of morphemes. So actually, there are two kinds of morpheme. The first is free morpheme and the second is bound morphemes. So guys, free morpheme is a morpheme which doesn't get any additional from affixes, something like prefix, suffix, or infix. So, free morpheme is a pure morpheme. You can call free morpheme as root also, something like eat, run, or made. They are the example of the free morpheme. And the second, we will talk about bound morpheme. So what is bound morpheme? So actually bound morpheme is something like the opposite or the opponent of free morpheme. If we know that free morpheme is a morpheme which can stand alone, but bound morpheme is morpheme which cannot stand alone. So actually there are two kinds of bound morpheme. The first is derivational bound morpheme and the second is inflectional bound morpheme. So, what is the derivation? Derivation is the bound morpheme which can change the part of speech. For example, we can choose from the adjective become adverb. So, the adjective is beautiful. But if you add ly or li in the end of beautiful, it will be beautifully. And beautifully, the part of speech of beautifully is adverb. So the li is the derivational bound morpheme. Can you get the point? So and the second is inflection. If derivation can change the part of speech, but inflection cannot change the part of speech. For example, suffix s from the root cat, but if you give addition something like suffix s, it becomes cats. Cat is noun and cats is noun. So the suffix s is the example of inflectional bound morpheme because it cannot change the part of speech. They are still noun. So that's enough for me. I've talked about morpheme, free morpheme, and bound morpheme. Bye-bye.
And the next is morpheme. What is morpheme? Morpheme is the smallest part of the word, or it can be thought as the smallest part in morphology. There are two kinds of morpheme. The first is free morpheme and the second is bound morpheme. The first, free morpheme, is a morpheme which can stand alone. It also can be thought as a root. Bound morpheme, a morpheme which cannot stand alone. It can be thought as affixes. There are two kinds of bound morpheme. They are derivation and inflection. Derivation is a bound morpheme which can change the part of speech, and inflection is a bound morpheme which cannot change the part of speech. For example, derivation, adjective to adverb, beautiful to be beautifully. Li is derivational bound morpheme. And noun to be noun, cat and cats is the example of inflection. And then content.
Now I would like to explain about content. What is content? What is content? Oh, okay. I would like to explain that. Content is one word can creating meaning or the context. For example, it's like we can eat, yum 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 yum, and we can drink, and we can walk, we can run, etc. Okay, it is the example of content. Okay, from the next material is, what is it? Okay, the next is functions. Yes, function. We know function is one word or affixes that can creating function in a sentence. Okay, from the sample is but. We know but. We don't know what is but without a sentence, without a word in the middle of before the word before but. So we must to add many words to explain what is but. And the second is and we don't know what is and then what and what we don't know, so we can add words, for example a cat and mouse. We know about the meaning. Okay, now I would like to explain about allomorphs. Allomorph. You know, allomorph is the bone morphemes, especially suffix, that have more than one pronunciation. For example. Oh yes, I know. For the example, is learned. The root is learned and the suffix is ed. Actually, we can read ed with t. So we can read learned like that. And the second is studied. We know that study is the root and ed is the suffix. So we must read studied, not studied, not like that. So this is sample of allomorph. Thank you.
Content is a word that can create meaning or context. It can be word also. And the last is function, a word or affixes that can create function in a sentence. For example, but, in, so. And the last is allomorph. Allomorph is a vowel morpheme, normally suffix, which has more than one pronunciation. For example, ed, learned and studied.
I've talked about there were many materials. The first we talk about root and affixes with Nugrahini, Nurul, Chotimah, and the second we talk about what? We talk about morphemes, free morphemes, and bound morphemes. We talk about allomorph, contents, and function with Miss Nunik Maslakhah. So those are the materials that we taught in this vlog. Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the next vlogs.